Hi, everyone, and welcome back. This is Pili, and I have the amazing Mel Dupuis with me. Melanie and Dave Dupuis, also known as Investor Mel and Dave, are innovative real estate investors who have solely acquired, and we'll talk about what the word solely means, acquired over 200 apartments in just a few short years. Using creative and successful strategies, they have been able to increase their portfolio significantly without using any of their own money. They have impressively have 100% ownership of these properties, which means they get to keep 100% of the equity, appreciation, and cash flow. Welcome, Mel. So honored to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you.
It's good to see you too. So for anyone who doesn't know, Mel and I actually met on Clubhouse. Super excited to have you here. I want to know a little bit more about you. Tell me a little bit more about you before you became Mel and Dave.
Yes, well, I was actually a single mom living in a small 2-bedroom apartment, and I knew that I could change my life with real estate. And but I didn't have enough money to get there. And then, slowly started building one at a time. And Dave and I met, and then we decided that, wait a second, if we read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which changed our mindset about money. And then we thought, wow, if we can use creative financing to grow our portfolio, then we can buy as many properties as we want. That's exactly what we ended up doing. And then in 2017, we bought 12 properties in less than 12 months using our own money. And then since then, we've been continuously growing our portfolio.
That is amazing. So you went from single mama to this multi-family, just entrepreneur badass. You are amazing, Mel. Thank you so very much. So let's talk about that. Let's dive deep into your life-changing crash in 2018 and how that propelled you into writing your book, and talk a little bit about your book as well.
Yeah, sure. So we had purchased 12 properties in 12 months, as I mentioned. That was in 2017, but we still had the scarcity mindset. We didn't want to tell anyone how we were doing this. I wouldn't have been found anywhere on social media. And we were in 2018, we were on our way to a real estate investing conference, and we were passengers in a large SUV. And we got struck. It was a careless transport driver who ended up getting charged for careless driving, who hit a vehicle that hit us. And we were on a 3-lane highway. Vehicles are going way over 100 kilometers an hour. And we literally rolled 4 times across the 3-lane highway. We landed upside down. And it was a day that forever changed our lives for many, many reasons. Of course, thinking about our 3 kids and what that would have meant to them if we would have died that day. And also thinking about us. What did we leave behind? Yes, we have all these properties, but that's it. We have money behind that. That's our legacy. And then that's when we decided the same weekend to still go to the conference, and we decided to write a book, and we started mentoring and helping other people also acquire properties with the same strategies.
That is amazing. You mentioned a key word, and this touches me too, because both Jason and I, my husband and I, have 3 children, and we want to leave a legacy. Talk a little bit about the legacy that you want to leave, Mel.
Yeah, and I guess there's more than one, right? I wanted to leave a legacy for my kids where they have the knowledge piece, because I remember being in the hospital and we're talking about our 3 kids and all that, and we're like, oh, what a shame. There's so much knowledge that we still would love to pass on to them that we just haven't had the chance. And because we didn't want to share it to anyone, it wasn't documented anywhere how to do this. And that's kind of what motivated us in the first place to write the book, was like, hey, let's document at least some of the strategies, enough to get them started and motivated and knowing that this is possible. And then we just thought as well, why not help other people? Why not help change other people's lives? Because there certainly wasn't anything special about Dave and I. We didn't, come from a rich family or had any special connections. We had the drive and dedication to do so, and anybody can do this as well.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, how you don't have the connections. You didn't come from a wealthy family. You didn't come from you didn't have this stacked up for you. How did you make it happen for yourself? Do you talk about that in the book?
We do a little bit, yeah. Essentially, it was just realizing, I think the mindset is such a big part, right? In real estate, we always want to talk about numbers and all that, and that is so, of course, important. But I think the mindset is number one if you really want to be successful, and just realizing that it was doable and not letting anybody slow me down. The naysayers, I would say, why would you want to do this? And ignoring those people, and also just taking that action. And when it came to creative financing, Dave was really, really excited about doing all this. I was very fearful because I was worried, well, what if I use somebody else's money and then I can't pay them back? And then we decided to get obsessed with it. And we did. We met with people who had a large portfolio doing the creative financing, both those successful and also people that were not successful. And we asked them, what went right or what went wrong? And what we realized that it all came down to the exit strategy on how to pay back private lenders when you do use private funds. And that was the key to success with wow. As soon as we figured out how to make sure that we know our exit strategy before getting into the deal, then we'll be able to do this in a big way.
Let's dig a little bit more into that without giving away everything, because listeners, I want you to go pick up Mel's book. It's fantastic. But without giving away everything, let's talk a little bit about your creative financing strategies. How are you able to, and I'm going to read this again. They impressively have 100% ownership of these properties, which means they keep 100% of the equity, appreciation, and cash flow. See, what I do is I share all of that. But how are you able to keep it all?
So Dave and I had just made a decision early on that we wanted to do solely owning. And there's essentially three strategies that you can structure in different ways, but owner financing, where the owner holds part of the mortgage, maybe it's 20%, maybe it's 100%. We've had 100% owner finance deals. So the owner financing, which is also known as seller financing or vendor takebacks. We also do promissory notes, where a lender has money and they want to invest in real estate passively, but they don't want to do what we do. So we pay them interest, but they're not on the actual title. And then we also use secured funds, which is in Canada here, it's RRSPs or TFSAs, and in the States it'd be like a 401k.
That is fantastic. Thank you for diving in a little bit on that. So again, let's talk about a little bit about your book. Do you guys notice that I'm kind of bringing everything back to this amazing book? Because you talk about mindset, and I'm totally right there with you that even though you need to have the numbers, you need to learn your foundational things. You need to have the mindset, because without taking action, without having that mindset piece, you can't take that step forward. So dive a little bit deeper into how you were able to cultivate this winning mindset, this taking action mindset, and how that has taken you forward into your amazing real estate career.
And thank you for that. It was just over time, right? Realizing that as soon as I started realizing that other people can do this and they're not any more special, they may be more successful than I am, but they're not any, we all have a path. We've all had struggles. And as soon as I started realizing that, that helped a lot with my mindset. Just even listening to different books or audiobooks or reading, The Secret, for example, The Law of Attraction, just realizing these kind of things. And for the book, it's a very short book. We kept it really short. It's only 90 pages. And we don't get into number crunching. It was just a book exactly that, just to get people thinking that, hey, this is possible. Creative financing can be done, and what it takes to kind of get there, including a team and all those different things as well. Because at the end of the day, exactly, the mindset piece is so, so important, because you can want to acquire properties all day, but if you're thinking as a consumer and not as an investor, you're not going to get there. And if you're trying to get there alone, it's going to be a very, very long, slow way to get there as well. So just these kind of things, these tools that has helped us realizing that tenants are not awful. We have a lot of amazing tenants. Yes, we've had some bad ones. Of course we do. But the majority of them are fantastic. Just these kind of mindsets as well, because there's a lot of myths out there about being a landlord and horror stories and all that. And yes, we've had some as well, but we've had also a lot of amazing stories as well.
I love that because that's one mindset piece that takes people away from wanting to become a landlord. And I don't even consider myself a landlord. I consider myself like I feel like I'm a fiduciary to my tenants because I have this fiduciary responsibility to my tenants, to my investors. So I love having that mindset piece that yes, there are going to be those bad tenants. You know, we can't like sugarcoat everything. There's bad people in the world. I get it. But I mean, percentage wise, wouldn't you say that most of your tenant base is pretty amazing? You take care of the people and they will take care of you. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. We have, I think it's in the book, 90%, 97% rule that, the majority of tenants are amazing. And yes, once in a while you do have a bad tenant like anything else, right? But the majority of people are good people. The majority of people do want to pay their rents on time and do want to maintain their property clean. So, and having as part of that is really making sure that you have systems and strategies in place. And at first, I mean, Dave and I used to be very, very hands-on with everything when it came to property management. But then we were our own bottleneck, right? We just couldn't continue to grow. But letting that go is really, really difficult as well, because that, are they going to, team members, are they going to do as much due diligence as you would as an owner? It's just different.
I love how you and Dave seem to have the same kind of mindset as Jason and I, because we too had those bottlenecks. We wanted to pick up the hammer and keep on going at it. That's why we didn't fail in the single family realm, but we couldn't put the hammer down. So when we jumped into the multifamily realm, we found that we absolutely had to create that amazing team that we now work with and leverage from and are able to grow with. And let's talk about one key member, because you've said this word a lot: mentorship and not going it alone. So I know you and Dave are mentors in this realm. Let's talk a little bit about mentorship, how that has helped you and how you help others.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer that I'm going to be a lifetime learner, and throughout the years, I spent way over 150,000 in my own learning, and I'm never going to stop. Even now, I just signed up for team building, and it's just I know that I'm always going to see a return on investment as long as I apply. And I think the beauty of it is, why would I make the same mistakes as somebody else? And if somebody already does it better than I am doing it, why not learn from them? So it's not just something that I used to do. It's something that I will always do for whatever reason. I mean, it can be a YouTube, it could be TikTok, it can be team management, it can be business structure, KPIs, it can be so many different things. And as for our mentorship program, that's exactly what we wanted to provide for our students as well, was that that support, the foundation, all the content, but to the point, short to the point, do this, do that, go and do it, with an interactive access to Dave and I, where we can help them along their journey as well.
And that is amazing, because that's exactly how Jason and I scaled up. So in the single family realm, we thought we could do it ourselves. Jason had a background in construction. I had a background in restaurant management. We were like, let's just put the two together and do it. So our first project took over probably a year to complete. In the flipping industry, that's way too long. So it took us a few years to realize that we needed a mentor. We finally got a mentor in that realm, scaled like nobody's belief within the year. So when we jumped into multifamily, we took on a mentor right away and was able to take down our first building in like 6 months. So I'm not sure if you found that your students and yourself found the same kind of like hockey stick.
Oh, so much, so much. I mean, the majority of our students are buying their first property within 90 days. Some bought 4 properties in 5 months. Some bought 52 apartments last year. Some bought 51. So you can't even compare the growth, and of course, return on investment, right? Because that's why at the end of the day, we all invest in mentors to get that return on investment. But absolutely, your growth is, I wish I would have started even sooner, because I made so many, much like you, right? Cost mistakes, and it took me longer at first. Yeah.
Yes, let's talk about the cost of mistakes and the return on investment on bringing on mentorship. I know there's a lot of people out there that have said, you can do it yourself, just get it done, just like get into the game. But having a mentor, and please speak more into this, speeds that up. You have someone's hand to hold, someone that can give you the questions that you don't even know that you should be asking.
Yeah, well, the reality is, in real estate, you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars. One bad mistake can cost you so much money. Not having the right insurance clause, not having the proper business structure, not knowing how to use creative financing, not knowing little tricks on how to find that property that could have made you 150 or 200 or even more, right? All these things can accumulate to so much money. And having a mentor who not only has a portfolio or who has done it, but somebody who has proven results. Because at the end of the day, I think there's always two different roles. Some people can be very successful, but may not know how to teach it properly. And having somebody with that background and who can showcase students, because I know out there's so many people, right? I see it all the time as well. And who can, hey, do you have a lot of testimonials? Do you feature people? And that's why we're very transparent. We feature somebody, I'm not sure if you've seen it on my Instagram, but we feature somebody every single Monday. We have a Mentee Monday. Every single week we feature one of our success stories, because that's how many success stories we have in the program.
That is amazing. And that success, success leaves a trail. So follow it. Follow those who are successful. Oh, my listeners, if you're paying attention to this, and I hope you are, please follow the trail of success. Follow those who are doing exactly what you want to do. So Mel and her husband, Dave, are some such people. Follow the trail of success and you too will find success. So Mel, this has been a fantastic conversation. Before I let you go, can you let my listeners know how they can find you and your successful life?
Oh, and thank you. And you've been so sweet, and I appreciate our conversation. We're all over social media. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Clubhouse. And our username is always Investor Mel and Dave. So follow us on any social media and you can reach out to us if you have any questions.
Fantastic. Again, thank you so very, very much, Mel. And for everyone that's listening, if you enjoyed what you heard, please rate, review, subscribe, follow, all those things. And please follow Mel and her husband, Dave. They bring so much value to this asset class and they can bring value to your life. So thank you so very much. This is Pili and have a great day. Aloha.